Interim City Manager report.
Chairman Cashman and have a number of housekeeping items tonight and maybe some consensus items as how you like to move forward as we move closer and closer to a more formalized council that has different rules to operate under. Now that the transition team has been hired, we can do some things more in earnest, knowing what latitude we have. Two things on that is that one is looking at a temporary city hall, which would be a storefront operation that obviously your transition team would be coordinating that and putting that together, but that's not without council input in terms of acceptability and accessibility and those kinds of things. But we have to be careful about not slowing the process down, because let me describe it for the public too, that we're going to have a temporary city hall and probably temporary local offices, which is the other half of this, that are probably going to be fairly short-lived in the overall scope of the life of the city. Then we'll probably move into, I would guess, this is all under council's direction, although it's being funded by another entity, and interim facilities, interim local offices, interim city hall, interim storefronts. And that'll be further discussion and further location. And so, having said that, with tonight's adoption of the Interwest contract, we've already begun negotiations and search for those facilities. But everyone should be aware that they will be temporary at best, and then we'll move from there. All right. On emails and websites and all that sort of thing, your team was a little uncertain as how to, since you have asked us to proceed with the best efforts relationship with a web provider, and that's fine, and that company has responded very quickly with what I thought was some pretty tasteful things that look nice. I'm not comfortable saying that should be your website. So in the interim, though, there's a great deal of interest in how do we get you email addresses that aren't inundating your personal boxes on Yahoo or Gmail or that sort of thing. So we've talked to the IT folks, and they have produced for you a way for you to receive, quote-unquote, official sort of pre-city email addresses and how to access those. But it's not associated necessarily with a website there. So there's a few technical things to work out. So what I need some direction this evening is how do you want me to bring back the proposed website, the look of it, and what, because there's policy issues about what goes on it and who can be on it. There's real serious considerations about links, because you're going to get asked for a lot of link information. So how would you like me to proceed? Can we go ahead and institute your emails, which I'm also going to ask is how do you want that presented to the community? Are there organizations and places you want me to put your email addresses until the website is worked out? Or how would you like to see this flow? And let's start with that as a discussion item.
Absolutely. I would put our emails out to all the community websites.
Yeah.
Wildomar Voice, Wildomar Community Council. Yeah. Somewhere. I think we all agree to be as accessible as possible.
So yeah, we don't mind if it comes into some other site and then goes over to ours. You're talking about whether we could have forwarded mail to the site you're setting up?
I could work with the chair on this as to, or if you have those sites now, we could ask them to put that on there so that it'll be bcashman at cityofwildemar.org, that will be all of the emails will be the first initial with the last name. Oh, by the way, thank you very much to the community members with all the domain names that came over and helped us with it. It was very helpful. Although some confusion about who Interwest was and why are they trying to buy all these domain sites. Who are you? We can go ahead and distribute those as at your pleasure. And then later on, and that can always stay there. Anyone who knows your email address can go ahead and then email you. First initial, last name at cityofwildemar.org is what that will be. And that's something we felt could last forever. That doesn't have to change with the website and all the others. And of course, the domains and the web names and all that are all different for email addresses. Okay, so how do you, we'll go ahead and distribute that, and I'll work with the chair on the list of organizations to give those to. How do you want to proceed with the website itself, and what's your expectations about timing?
Well, I wonder if there a committee from up here of council members could just work with you to get the right look of the site. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I know that a lot of us want it to look really official city-like. So, Cheryl, would you be willing to volunteer for that?
I thought we had a subgroup that was.
Oh, which?
Yeah, it's Scott and Cheryl.
Scott?
Scott
And Marshall. Why don't I just get with Scott and Marshall?
Okay.
And work that thing out. And we'll accept what they do.
Well, no, I'm not willing to accept 100%.
Okay.
I think our city manager prefaced this by saying the council must have input, but we don't want to slow the process down. So if they bring us something back, I mean, we don't want to chew on them forever. The point is, let the subcommittee put something together, and with the input too of the city manager and whoever else is involved. And hopefully when they bring it to us, we'll go, yeah, that's great. Looks like an official city website, and we'll go forward. I think we always need to bear in mind, don't want to slow the process down.
Yeah.
But I think we want to see, I mean, before suddenly one day we log on and there it is, I think we'd like to see it first.
That
The
seems
city
right.
council would like to see it, the rest of the council.
That seems right.
So, Chairman, I understand that the subcommittee will be assisting us in putting together an appropriate view for you, and then we'll bring that back at the earliest
Right.
available date.
Will the email be up before then? Will we have email addresses before then?
Yes, we'll be able to do that. In fact, we can probably brief you individually afterwards with your passwords and so forth.
Okay. I think that'd be good.
What's the email?
First initial, your last name, at cityofwildemar.org.
What about Bob?
City.
B or
What
R?
about Bob? Yeah, what about Bob?
B or
It'll
R?
be B, it won't be
Robert.
Instead of Robert. It'll be B.
Hasn't been called that since high school. Robert?
I don't mind it, but I'm going with Bob, so B Cashman. Okay.
Are we all okay with that? So is everyone going to use MSBS? Okay.
Right. And I believe that we will have something to look at for the next meeting, as well as what, the website there's a lot for improvements and changes we move along, but I think you'll have something that we can present here in 2 weeks.
And I think we all need to keep in mind it's not permanent. It can change daily, hourly. Webmasters are good. So we just need to get something up so that we look good to the public after.
And how soon is this going to be up?
Well, after we approve it in a couple of weeks.
The email addresses are going to be good immediately.
Well, that's what I'm asking, email
Yeah, the
address.
emails are immediate, and the website hopefully here in a couple of weeks.
The emails can be set up, will be set up immediately. I think John may have instructions on access your email. So once you go in and try it and change your password to get your own email, then you'll start getting email.
And they are not linked for the benefit of the city attorney. They are individual mailboxes accessible to you.
Okay.
And so there is do not assume that if you send an email to the mayor that everybody else gets it.